Hello everyone. Today we're going to have our final hiragana lesson. We're going to learn about small hiragana. Now there are two types of small hiragana in Japanese. We have small ya, yu, and yo, and we have small tsu. So let's start by taking a look at small ya, yu, and yo. By now you should all be familiar with the sounds shi and ji in hiragana and how to write them. But what about sounds like sha and ja? Now we know that these sounds exist in Japanese, but there's no way to write these with just one hiragana. To make these sounds, we use a small ya. To write sha in Japanese, we write shi, and then we follow it up with a small ya. To write ja, we write ji, and then follow that with a small ya. To make sounds like these in Japanese, we combine an I hiragana and a small ya, yu, or yo. So, for example, to get the sound kyu in Japanese, we would combine a full-sized ki and a small yu. Kyu. To get the sound cha in Japanese, we would combine a full-sized chi and a small ya. Cha. To get the sound nyo, we would combine a full-sized ni and a small yo. Nyo. Now it is important when looking at sounds like these to recognize that, for example, nyo and nyo are two different sounds. Nyo is a one-syllable word and is made with a full-size ni and a small yo. Nyo is two syllables, and both hiragana are full-sized in this sound. So let's briefly take a look at some more examples of this. We have giya, written with two full-sized hiragana, versus gya, written with a full-sized gi but a small ya. Jiyu versus ju. Mio versus myo. Pyo versus pyo. And ryu versus ryu. Now that we've learned a little bit about how to use these small hiragana, I'm going to show you a full list of the sounds that we can make with the small ya, yu, and yo. I won't be speaking at all while I'm showing this list, so feel free to pause the video or stop and take notes. Next, let's take a look at Smalltsu. Let's say we have a word like kisaten, which means cafe in Japanese. Now you'll notice that we have two S's, one next to the other, in this word, but we haven't learned how we would write a word with two consonants right next to each other. Well, to write this word, we would use ki, a small tsu, sa, te, and n. You see, when we write Japanese words using English letters, a double consonant represents something called a glottal stop, meaning a place where we pause for one beat. In Japanese, this glottal stop is represented by the use of a small tsu. So, once again, if we were to write the word mate, which means wait, we would write this with ma, small tsu, and te, mate. Happyo, or announcement, will be written as ha, small tsu, pi, small yo, and u, happyo, And again, notice that glottal stop between ha and pyo. Now, at this point, you may be remembering our last lesson where we learned n, which is the one consonant sound that can appear by itself in Japanese. So you may be thinking, what happens when we have a double N in a Japanese word? For example, the word konnichiwa, which means good afternoon. We would write this as ko, n, ni, chi, and ha. And remember, we use ha rather than wa because we're using the particle wa for this word. But you'll notice that this is the one exception to our Smalltsu rule. Because we have the n sound in Japanese, we can just write it in here. We would do the same thing, for example, with the word minna, which means everyone. Mi, n, and na. Minna. So now let's try using what we've learned to spell some Japanese words. Ryu, dragon. Ryu. Ri, small u, and u. Ryu. Gyoza, which is a type of dumpling. Gyoza. Gi, small yo, u, and za. Gyoza. Nikki, diary. Nikki. Ni, small tsu, and ki. Nikki. Hapyaku, 800. Hapyaku. Ha, small tsu, pi, small ya, and ku. Hapyaku. And finally, konnichiwa, good afternoon. Konnichiwa. Ko, n, ni, chi, and ha. Konnichiwa. And that is it for our hiragana lessons. Feel free to look over the speaking lessons on this channel and stay tuned in the future for lessons on writing katakana. Ja, mata.